Hello, welcome to Friday Feeling with a very puffy ID. The hay fever is really starting to take its toll on everybody. So I'm speaking about now this morning. I've got an amazing special guest. I know I say that about all my guests, right? Because they are amazing. That's fact. But Sanjay is definitely something a wee bit different because I remember meeting Sanjay and we met, I think it was either 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, possibly. And it was at the Edinburgh Fringe, and I met him through my friend Luke Nakea, and I just felt instant warmth and instant love, and I'm sure that's what you'll feel once you speak to my wonderful, lovely friend Sanjay Largo.
Hello.
Hi.
Morning.
How are you?
Afternoon.
So I'm just going to big you up a wee bit first, because now that your wee face is all on the screen, right? So, but yeah, you're conservatoire trained, aren't you, darling?
Yeah, I am.
You're a conservatoire baby. Now I did apply for conservatoire, and I'm so raging that I didn't apply for it. I'm not saying that I would have get in. However, do you know that way everybody's like, no, it's international, and they only let this person in. Well, I've went 7 times, but I get in my eighth. I'm like, I'm 36. I don't have time to go for 8 goes. So basically tell us about your experience of acting, because it's a professional, and conservatoire is one of the best recognised institutions, and how that experience was for you.
So it was interesting because I actually trained in acting at college, and then I did so in London you have like foundation years, whereas in Scotland we have like a Sunday course called Introduction to Actor Training. So I did that for a year. Then I was like, I want to be at this place. And I applied, and I didn't know I was dyslexic at this point. I applied for the short courses, and I read the application wrong because it said, "How would you change the arts world?" And in my interview, I took 2 big ring binders of news articles, cuttings saying, "I want more diversity." And one of the lecturers says, "You're a great actor, but maybe a bit too political for the acting course. Have you thought of CPP?" And I was like, "CP what?" And CPP was contemporary performance practice. So I did a year's worth of short courses, and I auditioned for the first time properly, didn't chicken out, and I got an unconditional on April Fools.
Wow.
So I sat in a conference in Eastbourne, also known as God's Waiting Room, because that's where all people go to die, apparently. And I'm in the front row at this conference, and my phone goes ping, and I'm like, oh, should I look at it? And I had an email from the Conservatoire and Cookhouse saying, you have an unconditional. But it took me about 3 hours to get that it wasn't an April Fool's, because it was before 12 o'clock, and I was like, it's all a joke. Not actually. And then it was a different experience. It was tough at times because you do get like the posh students, and then there's me coming from Ibrox, and I'm like, all right, mate, aye. But the course gave me so much. Like, I found out I was dyslexic from one essay, came out to my parents thanks to the course, created my own work, worked with people like National Theatre of Scotland for a year. So yeah, I met people like Auntie Lubna. I met people like you. So RCS was a great place. It does have its flaws, like every institution does, but they do support their students. But I think that's why I felt more supported, because I came in through like the short courses route. I didn't come straight into audition. I came in through widening access, because drama is just not that easy to go into.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I did it first when I was younger. My friend Leon Hay, she's actually a lecturer at West College, Scotland, where I went to, and she wasn't allowed to teach me, obviously, because we were friends. So they had to like do my timetable round so that Leon wasn't teaching me. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously I was in with a lot of young people as well. And I've actually got one of my fellow classmates coming on next week, because she's doing a wee mental health thing. So she's coming on next week, Chloe. So that'd be great. But I loved West College Scotland. It was amazing. It really brought out my acting, because I could act, and I thought I was great at it. And that's how, don't get me wrong, there is actors out there that don't have any training and are phenomenal actors. They're just born that way. Do you know? I'm not saying that you'll ultimately, you're not an actor unless you're trained. That's not what I'm saying. But you do learn so much more in the course than just trying to be a character. Do you know what I mean?
I've also made some of my best friends at the Conservatoire. It is tough though. Like, what I wish they would teach more is how tough this industry is. It's such a catch-22. Like, to get an agent, you need work, but to get work, you need an agent. And then being Asian, people aren't really writing many roles for me, so I don't get seen, I don't get cast. Then if there are roles, there's like 50 people going for like one role. So Scotland, we're not that diverse in Scotland, but we do have actors of colour here. Like our mutual friend Auntie Lubna will even tell you that it is tough, even being an Asian woman, just being people of color in the industry is so hard. So I feel that.
Definitely, that was it. It's just.
Yeah, Dee's away, but can you hear me? Can you see? Sound down.
Oh,
You're back.
I actually it just went out and then come back in, and then I was sitting backstage, and I was like, let me in, and they wouldn't let me back in, so that's me get back in. But we're in the wrong way round now, but it doesn't matter. At least I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm now the host. Hi, I'm Dee.
You're now the host, darling. Would you like to just ask me a couple of questions, sweet? It's a good job. You're a professional. You held that well there. I was in that background like that.
Someone, you can't, and someone's trying to come into my room, but you can't. I'm live. Go away.
I know. That's the good thing. That's the good thing about all these home shows. Do you know what I mean? It's definitely silence is golden. Yeah, it definitely was there for a minute there. I can hear you now. Brilliant. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? But what I was going to say is, basically with the acting stuff, I feel like I've got a lot of friends really, really struggling just now. I'm big time struggling. You can see it in my eyes. I'm not sleeping. I've really, really got bad insomnia for the last 4 or 5 weeks. You know, and I'm really struggling mentally, and you can see it all in my face. So I think, how are you dealing with keeping yourself upbeat?
Oh, so lockdown's been tough because in 10 days I lost 4.5 months worth of work, which, yeah, and then I went into lockdown on my birthday, so I had a lockdown birthday. Like, I was the first day of lockdown was my birthday, but I've been keeping upbeat because like I've been reading more. And me and my best friend Sinead from my class, we meet every Friday and we give each other creative tasks. So this is week 9 coming up, where we give each other things to do. And I've just been writing a lot more. And lockdown surprisingly has been interesting because like people on Twitter have called out. I've joined so many other creative groups, and I ran a writing workshop with the Scottish BAME Writers Network, which was sold out. So yeah, I think I just miss selling ice cream.
You know what the thing is? What you said about the agents and stuff like that, and I've got an agent, you know what I mean? But it's if your face fits. You know, I did a feature film that Timothy Paul is the lead in not that long ago, and I did that. And the lead in that, I got a featured role and it's still not out. Do you know what I mean? So it just shows you how long the time it takes. And I'm sitting there going, is my bit still going to be in it? Is my bit still, do you know that way? Because it's just a feature role. You don't know if you're going to be kept in at the last cut, do you know? So that as well. But amazingly with lockdown, I get some massive news. I'm going to tell these people once it's announced, but I had on my dream board to work with these people way back when I started comedy because I really watched them and I loved them. And I can't mention who it is because I'm not speaking to them until 2 o'clock today. So it looks like I might be guesting on an online kind of drama, kind of comedy type thing online. So it's like a wee show going to be put together. So it looks like I'll be guessing it. But the funny thing is, I put these people that I'm going to work with potentially on my dream board 2 years ago. So it just shows you how things go further, the law of attraction and all that.
You were on my dream board, and look, now we're talking.
I've been on people's dream boards. It makes me feel so special.
I know. I wish I was on people's.
You will be, darling. You're an amazingly talented person. You're just breaking. So on that note, have you got anything interesting or new that's happening you want to tell us about?
Do I? Oh yeah, of course I do.
Yeah.
So yesterday the news came out that had been embargoed for longer because of COVID-19. Yay, thanks coronavirus. But I was finally able to share that I got funding for my show. Ask Me If I'm Okay. So this was a show that I did back when it was my last ever show in drama school that I did in June last year. And the drama school do a fund called the Make It Happen Fund, and that's a fund for graduates. And the show's an autobiographical show. A lot of my work is autobiographical because if people aren't writing for me, then I write for myself. So this show is not an easy show. So even though I like to do the comedy, I like to do like the fun stuff. 3 of my shows aren't happy shows. So this one is about mental health, male suicide, sexuality in South Asian communities. So I'm looking at very heavy topics, which has been tough during lockdown when it was an R&D, a research and development process. So my plan was to do the research and development not in my house, outside. So I've been researching a lot about suicide, which isn't happy reading at all. So being inside, being in lockdown and trying to do that research for my show has been hard. But I'm really happy that I'm able to share it now. I'm able, because it's such a taboo topic, talking about mental health, sexuality, suicide within South Asian communities. And that's why I give my story out there and get more South Asian men to talk about their mental health, because we don't really talk about it. So yeah, that's what's happening.
I think culturally as well, it's even difficult for Asian men because they even more so need to look like they're on top of things, and do you know what I mean? I've spoke to me. You've got a lot of weight on your shoulders being the male in the household. Do you know what I mean? It's even more so in the white. The talents you both are so inspiring. Thanks very much, Lynn.
Oh,
but what an amazing time now. You could say lockdown has caused you a problem, but see, to be fair, it's probably came at the best time because right now people are in really dire straits, and that's why I do these shows. It's like I don't need to do this. I could sit and do 1,000 things and online, but I just know there's so many people out there that like to talk about it, and through this platform, speaking to people like yourself, they can get. So how would you suggest, especially for the communities in Asian and other communities that do still Western community, we're still getting a wee bit better, but we're not caught on quite in how that whole let's show your feelings work. You know what I mean? So what would you say is your holdback on the front of speaking out?
I think it's just that thing. Like I've been saying this a lot during the Black Lives Matter movement this week, and people coming out, South Asian people coming out about our history as well. All these things is education. It comes back down to education for me, and we don't get taught about these things. So, like so for example, just literally talking to someone before I came on about the history of the UK. It's built on slavery, colonialism, the British Raj, theft. If you look at our museums across the UK, it's all stuff that's stolen from other cultures. And I feel like we need to start educating our kids, educating future generations, what this country's history is actually about. I didn't learn about the British Raj until I was like maybe in my teens. You don't learn about this stuff. We only learn through a white lens. And the same with mental health. We don't learn about it in a wide bracket. I would love. I didn't learn about.
You can tell me this. I mean, obviously you're not black. I mean, it's still different. It's a different culture and different. But you can kind of help. I think the problem we have as good people, because there's political correctness, a lot of us become that aren't racist at all, become very withdrawn because we're terrified to appear racist because we're not educated on what actually the background. And what I said yesterday in a live that I was really quite angry in was, no, you do not, as a white person, need to stand up and speak for the black man. One white person had their knee on his neck. Another white person does not have to lift him up, but however, he can stand at his back and let him speak. Do you know what I mean? So it's like educating yourself to say, yes, it's good to support, and yes, everything matters, but it is a fight that they have to initiate, and people that are not people are anti-racist have to support. That's where the difference lies.
And instead of going silent, go to a bookshop, read a book on how to be an ally. Like, for example, so in my second year, I did a show. So during my degree, I'll kind of give you a laugh as well now.
Right.
We do a thing called Bridge Week where you kind of, oh, thank you. I'm loving all your wee comments. It's great. It's making me feel like,
That's special. Anyway, go.
I know I'm dyslexic, of course. I'm a Gaysian dyslexic.
Gaysian, I love it. I'm a Gaysian. All under one umbrella, darling.
One of my friends once said to me, "Oh, you're a diversity tick box dream." And I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "You're working class, you're gay, you're Asian, you're dyslexic." And I was like,
Thank you.
Now give me a job. Still no happened. What was I saying? So we do a thing called Bridge Week where you can bid for money and get your own shows put on. So in first year, I did a show called I Don't Give a Fuck, which caused a lot of issues because my poster was me like that with the word fuck, and the head of the drama, like the head of school of drama, was like, "Can you change your posters?" And I was like, "Yeah." Then my cast are like, "Your show's called I Don't Give a Fuck. Why you?" I was like, "True." Put my posters everywhere around the drama school. I got pulled into a meeting. They were like, "There's kids here on a Saturday, just so you know. In future, can you listen to?" I was like, "Yeah, cool." No, but in second year things changed. I did a show called Goodbye Colour. Goodbye Colour was quite a tough show to do because in the show I reenact racial attacks that have happened to me, and I get the audience to be the attacker. Just to educate on what those situations feel like, and then I turn myself white in the show. So I do classical Indian dance movements with a sitar and a tabla playing, get turned white, and then I sit there for a good 15 minutes with my arms out on my knees, looking straight ahead, white, and my friend Helen goes with a bowl of baby wipes around the audience and says, "Do you accept Sanjay for who he is?" And if they say yes, they take a wipe and they come and wipe the white off me. And the whole show was about accepting me for who I am.
That's cool, because that actually makes me. I actually felt the fucking lump in my throat there, because it's just, that's amazing. But that would have been so poignant. Anyway, on you go. I felt a wee wave of emotion there.
It was hard because, like, the opening night, my mum, dad, and brother came, and my dad and brother started wiping the wipe off me and started crying. And I had friends doing it and crying. And the whole show was just about accepting people of colour and not me. The whole show was saying, I'm tired of trying to fit in, being like the white Asian friend at times. I just want to be me. And one of the big things that I reenacted was during the Paris attacks. I was in the subway, so I'm an usher at the King's Inn, the Theatre Royal. So if you're ever there, folks, and you see me selling an ice cream or you're too drunk, please behave. That's also something I missed during lockdown, telling drunk people to sit down. I really miss that. So during the Paris attack, I was on my way to the King's Theatre, and I was on the subway, and this guy walked the length of the carriage up to me, spitting at me, punching me, swearing at me, saying I caused the Paris attacks, my people caused the Paris attacks. Like, me being me, I was like, I caused the Paris attacks? What? Cessnock and Ibrox people caused it? What? Then I realised, oh, skin colour, not Ibrox caused Paris attacks. And I was like, I'm so confused. And then what upset me most was there was a woman there who sat there, looked at it all, and then just went, and literally put the magazine up to her face. And I guess sometimes those instances are tough. You don't want to say anything. But in that instance, if she stood by me, power in numbers would have been something. And it's the silence is really hard during these Black Lives Matter things. Silence, you can't be silent. You have to get up and say something. Yeah, you might be white, but even if you say something, it shows that you are supporting and you're standing by us and not the racist. And then I did a show called Say What. Oh, I'm just going to tell you more shows that I did. So I did a show called Say What, which I'm never touching again. Oh, she's away again. Hi, everybody. It's me again. Welcome to Sanjay's chat show. Yeah. Sorry, I just took over, started chatting to Nadine, Margaret, Lennon, Ashley.
You know what? I'm so glad it's on that you can help me out here. I've been having a nightmare with my internet and my phone, and I think I'm going to have to leave the shows for now. I get another phone. I think it's this phone. I don't actually even think it's the Wi-Fi. I think it's the flipping phone.
It's
So,
fine.
anyway.
I've made some new friends on the site here. Pamela. Oh, they got 2 Pamelas, Pamela Roger, Pamela Nelson, Fiona Templeton. Oh, my French teacher was called Mrs. Templeton.
Oh, there you go, darling. That's great. So what other shows did you do? You keep going.
Betty Templeton, that's what she was called. Sorry. I did a show called Say What, where the audience were in charge. Don't ever do those kind of shows. They don't go well.
Like an immersive show then?
Yeah. I just couldn't do it. I won't touch it again. It needs work. I'm someone who I get the idea for the show and I work on it for a couple of months, but I don't rehearse them. Yeah. Especially like because I did contemporary performance, I like to work in the moment because I feel like with those shows that are autobiographical, if I'm rehearsing them big topics constantly, you kind of lose the
essence.
The realness of it because you're tired. I'm tired of telling those stories. So yeah, I'm kind of bad for not rehearsing it constantly. But I feel like when you don't rehearse it constantly, but you know it, it comes out more naturally. And then by fourth year, I felt so much more comfortable. So I've got that show happening. So lockdown's been good because I've got 3 shows in development. So I've got funding for that one that got announced. I got funding for a show called Trying to Stop a Tidal Wave, which is all about dyslexia in South Asian communities. So I got 150 quid for that, which isn't a lot, but it's like a foot in the door. Hi, Lynn. So I've got that happening, and then I'm redeveloping my degree show, Mecorn. Who am I? I can't sit still. I'm one of those people that's always on the go.
Oh, you're like me. I've got up. The last time we spoke, you're like, yeah, I'm doing this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, I've got this going. We're very similar in the sense we've always got to have a manic map in our mind that we're touching and painting that for a wee bit, and then we're painting this bit for a wee bit. And then before we know it, we've made 4 shows and done nothing for 6 months, and everyone thinks we're doing nothing, and then we come out with 4 at the same time.
Yeah. I think lockdown has been, in a way, interesting for artists because it's made us see, like, so, for example, casting. There's no excuse now when people are like, oh, hi, we're casting this, can you come to London? Us going to London is not cheap. It's like £100 for a return. But if you could do it on Zoom, call me on Zoom. Like, I think that's one thing I've learned is we've learned a lot how to adapt, getting our shows online. That's not an Iron Brew, that's a Pepsi you're drinking.
I know, don't grass. I didn't actually.
You just grassed yourself and you just showed everybody. Did we all see that? They're all going to comment
on now. Son, just because you're up Glasgow doesn't make yourself no come up there and put your arse, right?
I'm not a violent person.
I wasn't you, but I remember we were talking just about touching on that guy, the China, Paris and that. I always tell this joke because I think it's hilarious, right? One of my pals who's Chinese, funnily enough, and he stays in Pollock, right? And this old guy starts shouting as we were outside and we were standing away from each other, or it was just before lockdown, right? And he shouts him, aye, it's all you and your kind that brought this here, it was you. And my pal turns around and goes, what, Pollock, mate? That, you sure?
Do you know, this is one thing that really has annoyed me, though, is the rise in racism from a virus. Like, again, people need to look at the history of this country. Look at your British Museum. You have so much Chinese and East Asian art in there. Like,
exactly.
Also, see all those people that are doing the rest of the time, do they eat Chinese food on a Friday night? Do they have a takeaway? Remember where those people came from? Remember whose money that you're giving it to? Anyway.
Honestly, we could be here all day, darling, with ignorant people. We could be here all day with people that judge. As I said,
he just likes to say hi.
I love him. That's from Beauty and the Beast, isn't it?
I have startled you. My deepest apologies, mon ami. I am Lumiere, your humble servant, and you are our guest. Welcome to the castle. Please, come in.
Right, it's not about you, it's me and Dee'S show, go away.
We
just popped in to say hi.
See, that's why me and Sanji are friends, because we're both freakishly improv and freakishly off our head and very talented. Who's that?
This is an adipose. This is from Doctor Who. It's human fat.
Oh, see, that's where we're going to fall out now. You're a Doctor Who fan.
Yeah, what's wrong with Doctor Who?
Oh man, I hate the guy.
Right, bye. Oh, look.
Back, Alicia. What are you watching currently on Netflix? Are you watching anything interesting?
Doctor Who.
Oh, you knew you were going to say that. You have to be smart, don't you, darling?
But right, do you want to know why I love Doctor Who?
Yes, of course.
You like this will make you cry as well. Because I like to make it's great. So 15 years ago, like I started high school and I was being bullied quite badly, and I didn't enjoy being alive, quite frankly. I was going through a lot of this is what's all of my show that I got funding for. Like, it was a really tough time. I hated school until I got later on in school and I started making my name because I started talking more. I know, surprise, surprise. I never used to talk as much. But then Doctor Who appeared. Mum and Dad would talk about Daleks, and I was like, and then it was kind of like that 45 minutes to get out of that bullying bubble, to give me that space. And it's just a show that, it's just an escape for me, really, to enjoy and get away.
I want to know as soon as there's dates and what's happening and how it's going to be viewed, because I definitely would love to see it, because I know when we meet and we've spoke, we're very much people that like to say, hi, how are you? Oh, I'm great, I'm fabulous, you're wonderful.
Okay, not really.
We don't sit and do our wee life map until you start to really get to know us, and then we see, well, that's why you're so the way you are. That's why you're forthright with that, and that's why you do. And it's a good. And do you know what? And you were meant to be on last week. It was actually the problems with the phones, but see, a lot of it, it's actually worked out well with the world actually hating each other and doing, and really, who needs to identify by the colour of their skin anyway? Why can't we all just be humans and be together? Why can that not be a thing?
Tell that to the right-wing Tory voting racists that we have in the world. Sorry, Dad, just said that out loud. My bad.
Oh, my bad. That's my bad. But no, listen. It is, fuck them. They'll be in the minority strong enough. I'm Dee the Devastator. I'm going to go and devastate the whole world with love and light and hugs and cuddles. We actually at college, there was a young Muslim boy who wasn't very nice, and he gave us a lot of races. This is quite a funny story in a roundabout way. But we handcuffed him. We handcuffed him to the chair. No, we didn't do anything. But we did do anything. We did do something bad, and we handcuffed him to the chair. But we made him sit
Is this
there.
Like a fantasy coming out of yours?
No, we made it.
You brought me on.
It was in Cardonald College. His nickname was Popo, if I remember. And he had another friend who I got on really well with, Shafiq. But there was a guy, Goldie, that sat with us, and they basically told him he shouldn't be sitting with us.
Goldie? Was that a dog?
No, I think that was just his nickname. But I've met him since. He's got a big restaurant down in Ayr. But Goldie anyway sat with us, and he get heat from Shafiq and Popo and all that for sitting with us, right? And because we were white, so we handcuffed him at the chair until he smiled, right? And said that he had to be a nice person. And so back then we were, because I sat with hippies and we were a big mixed bag of everything, do you know what I mean? So, and eventually we handcuffed him, but see, the next day we didn't realise that he was like one of the ganglangs in Pollock. The next day he must have brought like, his uncle, his auntie, his dogs, his wains. There must have been I must have been at least, it felt at the time there was 600 guys, and I felt as if I was William Wallace for a second, but there was lots of them, and I'm just thinking, holy shit, we're going to get... But do you know what happened? I ended up speaking to the big brother, and I said to him, no, we didn't terrorise him. He was telling Goldie he couldn't sit with us because he should be sitting with them, and he was going to tell people at their mosque that he was sitting with white people and not sitting with us. And so then the big brother grabbed the wee brother Popo out with the scruff of the neck and kicked him all the way out. I thought, how poignant, but that all came from voice and attacking it in the right way. Somebody shouts and spits at you, the first thing that I would do is punch them right in the face. However, you're just facing hate with hate. And I never got that for years.
Also, one of the things, one of my friends did say to me at the time with the Paris thing, why did you not say anything? Why did you not stand up for yourself? And it's when you are by yourself and you're a person of colour, it's easier to stand up when you've got a group of people. But when you're by yourself, you kind of just panic. So I kind of started crying and ran to the King's Theatre, got my uniform on, washed my face, and just went to work and acted as if nothing happened. But in actual fact, I was stressed. And I didn't tell my parents that happened until they came to see my show, Goodbye Colour, and they saw the reenactment of it.
Oh, your poor mum.
I know.
Oh, I don't know if I'd want to scalp you after it or cuddled you. Do you know what I mean? Because you hadn't told me. But yeah, you're a success story in that, darling. I think everybody has, believe it or not, even though the way I am, primary 1 to primary 7, possibly into first year, I was badly bullied because of my size, because I wasn't a girly girl. I mean, for a lot of years, my mum did think I was a lesbian. It turned out I wasn't. You know what I mean? So there was, I was very boyish. I wanted to punch. I wanted to dig worms. I wanted to do all the stuff that's now acceptable for a girl to do, but wasn't then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and I went through all that, and I think because I was very popular amongst the boys in the sense I got on with them, we were mates. That was and the girls didn't like that. They all wanted to hang out with me and stuff. So I really and I grew up and I had a real hatred. And I know this is a prejudice. That's what I'm going, because everybody's got prejudice, whether we like it or not. And I hated girls that were very, very Barbie doll attractive, because that was the type of girls that bullied me all my life. And I would prejudge somebody that had a perfect face and blonde hair and perfect figure. And then that's when I think you just have to sit down with a person, exchange energy, and find out if it's negative or not. And if it's negative, then move on and put your positive buzz somewhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be that simple, but I just look at the world just now and I just keep praying that the light will come back. And I always say in my lives, whether it's Allah, whether it's God, whether it's Krishna, whether it's an energy, whatever you pray to or whatever you tune into, make it light and make it work. You know what I mean? So who do you got to say Obi-Wan Kenobi or something, didn't you?
Obi-Wan Kenobi, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you. I don't have a wee statue of him, but I've got my journal as Ganesh, the elephant god.
Love it.
Yeah, my brother got me this journal from India, so I don't know what to put in it yet, so I don't know if I will put anything in it yet.
No, the bad thing is I got that one year and I loved that, and I totally drawn into the picture of it, and one year I was taking ecstasy and nearly took that and put that tattoo on my back.
That'd be a gorgeous tattoo.
It would be a beautiful tattoo on a guy's back, I think.
No.
You know what I mean?
I know a lot of
them. I've got 2 of them up the stairs, but then I've got wee Buddhas in my house as well, because I do, I'm an SGI Buddha. So, I've got that, but SGI Buddha.
SGI? Scottish General.
No, it's a good guy. What it basically means is it's the non-profit one. It's like basically Protestant and Catholic split into 2. So
I was brought up, so we're multi-faith in my house, so I was brought up Buddhist, Sikh and Hindu in my house. So I went to Buddhist Sunday school, used to go to Sikh temples.
That was the same with me. My one side of my family was Catholic, and one side was, and I would just say, I'll go to church with my granny this week, but I'll go to chapel. So we didn't have that because my house was mixed, but my family could be really bad. My Protestant side of the family, as I call them, were zombie marchers, right? So, and then that's about 16 of my family just struck right out of this life. They're just like, oh, here she goes again. And then the other side of my family were Catholics, and it was hard because my granny used to get to my grandson. She's like, bless yourself in that water. I mean, but I'm not Catholic. She says, well, just kid on you because you're one of mine. It's the thing with. But yeah, I just love good people. I don't care what your religion. I don't judge anybody. As I said in the show the other day, there, my Muslim neighbours get run out their last home because they're refugees. You know what I mean? And the wee girl was dead sweet, and she come over dead timid when they were just breaking fast. And she brought the wee, oh, by the way, best chocolates I've ever tasted in my life. But anyway, she brought the wee biscuits and the wee chocolate, and she come over and she actually stood and explained to my 8-year-old and my 12-year-old what Ramadan was and what this represents, and would you like some? And I just thought, that there is where we need to be. That's what we need to be.
Kids do it so much better than adults.
Oh, do. And Charlie was confused. My daughter was confused, and she didn't take offence that Charlie was confused and she didn't know anything about Ramadan. She took that point to tell my daughter about what Ramadan was. So that's the difference.
Comes back to education. Education.
You always have people that have children, and you just think, my God, it's amazing that you survived. Why are you bringing children into their life? I can't help it. It's just like, yeah, why is that child like that? Let me see. And it's hilarious because of the way I go on, Sanjay, a lot of people would think that I talk to my kids like that, but I'm quite strict. My kid doesn't even know how to cross the road herself, and she's 12 because she's not allowed out. Do you know what I mean? So,
I
what's your
mean,
plan for the future, darling, before we wrap up? What are you planning to watch? Apart from your show, which you better keep me in the loop because you're bad for that. Say, yeah, I'll tell you, and then I don't get the text.
I'm so bad at doing that for everybody. Because I think as artists, we get so consumed in just getting it on stage, making sure it's perfect, that we forget all the hordes of people that we want to invite. But this one is an R&D for now, but my plan is to put in funding for Creative Scotland to get a show up and running. Like, that's my plan down the line. So I've got this show on the go, and I've also got my dyslexia show where I've got a meeting with my producer excuse me, all the hiccups are coming.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens when you down a bowl of Cocoa Pops because you forget the time. Don't ever do that.
I was laughing because I'm like, there's no way he's like night hawk writer and up at 1 o'clock. You know what I mean? I'm like, no, you need to be up for 11, darling. What?
Yeah. When you said that, I was like, oh no, I need to put an alarm on early. But I was up at 10:20. Just didn't get out of bed till 5 to 11.
So I'm thinking moving forward, we're just going to move forward. And I don't even know if we can do the last bit, because I don't know if Kane can take you out and take me and keep me there, but we'll try it. But if not, if we can't do that, we'll just say goodbye together, right? So we'll just improv here, right? But if we can't take you out, we'll work at it. But we got to say to you, listen, I've got to thank Jim, and I've got to thank Kane. My stuff's been a nightmare, and it must be hard for them because I'm usually dead reliable. I'm usually on time. My head's been all over the place. My phone's not been working. So I want to publicly thank Kane and Jim and everybody else behind all the scenes. I mean, you just see this wee show. There's guys working behind this. There's graphics getting done. There's also constant work that costs money. Sometimes it's not always coming out the pocket of profit, so that's all I want to say. There is a link. Please donate, please. I will hopefully be better in a couple of days. I've just had a rough couple of days. That Strawberry Moon is away tonight, so hopefully that'll be the end of the craziness. They all laugh at me when I say this, but with a closing thing, I think it was quite poignant that Sanjay was on today, and not other reason than he's an amazing energy. He's very talented, and for anybody out there that comes across Sanjay Largo, just remember he's my pal, right? And I'll come and get you. He might pipe down, but I'll fling trains and I'll fling all sorts at you. No, really, I'll probably just phone the police and then just video you being a bandpot, know what I mean? And then I'll just go to beat that way. But whatever it is, just speak out about everything. Do not stand by and watch someone be victimised in any shape or form. It's how I stopped working. It's how I stopped working in teams and communities. In any workplace, there's always an element. There's always a boss that's got a hormone issue or probably hasn't had a whole in a while. Do you know what I mean? Things like that. You know what I mean? So things like that make people not be very nice. But nobody needs to accept that off anybody. Keep your circle tight. Know what you want for the future. And like we said, if you are anti-racism, please make sure you make it heard when it's important and not just when some atrocities happened. Please make sure when you see somebody feel unsure. I very much have seen very timid people of colour come onto trains and it's predominantly a white carriage, and I make sure I catch their eye and I smile at them so that they know there's an inviting place to sit. That's not paranoid. That's what actually happens. There's people I see that come on with their shoulders like that, ready for a war with people, are ready for something to say, and that moment of it's all right, everybody's allowed to be here. It doesn't need to come from even the superior of what they think they are. It needs to come from a place of love. We need to unite in love. We need to move forward in prosperity. I'm very tired, and it's probably because I'm engaging too much in this poor me, because racism is a massive problem, you know what I mean? But it's not even just the racism. It's a class divide. It's a culture divide. It's a people divide. It's an opinion divide. And the world's all avoided an opinion, and everybody's just forgot what's important. And that's to love everybody, accept everybody's flaws, and move forward. And energy and positive things will happen. And make sure that in every room that there's a darkness, whether you've got a small flicker of light, you can keep blowing on that light till it grows. Don't ever dim your sparkle or your light for anyone. Love each other. Please don't let the memory of this gentleman in America that's passed away be for nothing. Let's keep fighting. Let's keep talking. Let's keep educating, and let's try to make a world where racism isn't a place. We don't need to accept it in any shape or form. Anyway, I felt I had to say that, but lots of love thanks to my Sanjay. Please look out for his play. He's a highly talented, warm, lovely guy, and you get him the same way all the time. He's a beautiful person to have round about. Anyway, that's the Friday feeling all done, and hopefully I'll be a little bit more sparkly by the next time you see me with our Ronnie and Sunday for the Late Late Show. Anyway, I've been Dee Maxwell. This has been the Friday feeling, and you've been amazing. Mwah!